Hi everybody, it's Busturr from Long Beach RaceHERS. I am going to give you a quick tutorial on how to clean up your bushings on your upper control arms and re-grease your lower control arms. First, you're going to need to remove this bolt and the nut underneath here on the spindle. And then you're also going to need to remove the bolt here and the nut here. Let me move the camera around so you can see right here, and that is one long bolt that goes all the way through that one, so you're going to have to kind of finagle that one out. I was having some trouble getting that bolt out, so you can see I had to go get a step ladder so I can reach down in the engine compartment to get that bolt the rest of the way out. You might want to use some gloves to remove these. They're very greasy. I don't know how I'm going to turn the camera off. You can see how dirty the bushings and sleeves were. I had to take a rag to clean off most of the grease, and then I used warm soapy water to finish cleaning them. I used Dawn dish soap, which worked great. Unfortunately, I didn't get a good picture of how everything looked after I cleaned it, but you can see right here the bushings look pretty good. You want to make sure that you apply grease liberally to all of the surfaces that will be touching each other, so the inside of the upper control arm, the outside and inside of the bushing, and the sleeves, and then put that all back together. For reassembly, you're going to want to start with the long bolt that goes through the top of the upper control arm, that goes from the front of the car to the rear of the car, making sure you secure it with the correct washer and nut. And then you're going to secure the bolt that goes from the top of the ball joint through the spindle, and again with the correct washer and nut, ensuring that you torque it to the correct spec. However, prior to tightening down your bolts, you need to attach the grease gun to your Zerk fittings, pumping the grease in there until you see it start to squish out, and then you can tighten your bolts and then give it a quick cleanup and then torque. You should be good. So this is what the Zerk fitting looks like where you attach the grease gun. There's 4 of them. 2 in the upper control arms, 2 in the lower control arms. The upper control arms have them underneath, the lower control arms have them on top. So the passenger side was a little trickier than the driver's side, so I recruited some help to get the position of the long bolt that goes through the upper control arm angled correctly. My helper had to climb up on the step ladder and reach in through the engine compartment to get it into position while I held the upper control arm. And you can see I just dropped a washer, so there's a little bit of fumbling that happened on this one, but we eventually got it. Once we got the bolt into the upper control arm, I was able to pump grease into the bushings. We left this side detached from the spindle so that we had easier access to the Zerk fittings. Once we were done pumping grease in the Zerk fittings, we tightened down the nut and bolt that goes through the upper control arm and torqued that to spec. Then we moved on to attaching the bolt to the spindle and putting on the corresponding washer and nut and torquing that to spec as well. Taking apart the lower control arms would require us to do an alignment afterward. So we opted not to do that and instead greased the lower control arms attached as they were, pushing out the old grease and trying to refill the control arms with new clean grease. We did this because we're going to be replacing all of the bushings come September right before the Rebelle Rally, and then we'll be doing an alignment as well. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to follow at Long Beach RaceHERS to catch all of our shenanigans, the trainings, and all the maintenance we're going to be doing for the Rebelle Rally coming this October 2024.